because I feel like you're going to hear all the birds tweeting outside, but I can't seem to get them to shut up. And I am currently revising. This is my 5-minute Pomodoro break, so I'm trying to whip this video out as fast as possible so I can edit it in my next break and upload it in my next break. So this video is how I revise GCSE Science 9 to 1, blah blah blah. I don't know what the title is yet. It's not how to revise, it's how I revise. I can give you some tips, but this isn't what I'm going to tell you to do necessarily, because different things work for different people depending on the types of learners they are. So, if you haven't seen my video on active versus passive learning, you need to go and watch it now, because I'm not going to explain it and I am going to refer to it multiple times in this video. For certain subjects, such as humanities, you can get away with just passive learning and regurgitate in the exam hall, in the test room, wherever you are, such as history and religious studies. For me, up until 20 minutes from now, when I start doing active revision, I have only done passive revision. This refers to religious studies. And I've still gotten semi-decent grades, like 75% on average, which isn't the greatest. I know I could do better if I did active revision, and I will do it. But you can get away with doing just passive learning for a lot of subjects, like humanities. When it comes to sciences, on the other hand, this is where you need to up your game and be doing active learning. For me, where are my science textbooks? All my revision books are around the house and in different bags, because, you know, going to the library all day tomorrow, blah blah blah. We whip out the textbook. Look at my ugly notes from year 9. In year 9 I did the weirdest thing, and I split A4 in half and just wrote ugly notes. Anyway, so I read the textbook. Moles, purification, carboxylic acids, fractional distillation, electrolysis. So I read, and then I make notes on the key points. Oof, can you see this? No, I can't be asked to put this in focus. But at the bottom of the page, I got some key points. I make notes of them in my science notebooks, which I cannot be asked to whip out even though they're in front of me. I'm sorry if I sound unenthused or lazy. I was in religious studies mode whilst filming this, and I didn't want to confuse myself with my favourite subject. And then I do all the questions that are at the back of every chapter. So summary questions, practice questions, and the answers are all online. They're hard to find, but you can find them, so I mark them from there. And then I do all the questions at the bottom of every double page spread as well. Then I head over to physicsandmathstutor.com and I whip out my brain and I do all the questions there, and I head over to the AQA. I'm not going to do it now. I've been at a conflict for all my subjects because it's a new GCSE. I'm the 2nd/1st year doing certain subjects. I don't have that many resources. When do I want to do them? So next year I will be doing all the specification papers, specimen papers, and it's an active subject. You've got to be out here banging out questions. With science, you could get away with not doing an ounce of passive learning and just do active, and you could get the general gist. However, I still feel like a little bit of passive learning is going to be useful, because even though the new GCSEs are application of science, you still need to have a little bit of knowledge of the implication of Chadwick's experiments, of Rutherford's model, of who else? I don't even remember. There are so many people to remember. When it comes to flashcards, I'm not the biggest flashcard gal for science. However, I'm not going to say that I don't make them. I tend to condense, because when you write notes, the best thing to do is, once you've written your page of A4, condense it to a page of A5, condense it to a big report card, condense it to a regular size flashcard, condense it to a sentence. You need to be able to condense. But when you condense, it's not, oh, I'm going to forget knowledge. It's condense and still remember and retain in your brain. So I am compressing all of these big chapters into tiny little flashcards to help me remember things. And I do like to teach my friends things and vice versa. I was on my DV expedition yesterday, and we had fun asking each other questions about all the sciences and explaining things like the pros and cons of electron microscopes versus light microscopes. When I say fun, I'm using that term very loosely. All of our feet were hurting and the weather was interesting. It was, the expedition itself was a fun experience, but in the moment I wasn't feeling it, so this was a good distraction. This is off topic. With that said, I'm going to summarize everything before I say my farewells and go back to my religious studies revision. Number 1, do passive but not too much. Read over the stuff, get it in your head, but don't waste your time on passive. Science is an active subject. 2, you need to do all that active learning. Every question you can get your hands on, especially right now that the GCSEs are new, take them. I just found out Caboodle actually has a lot of questions as well. Take every question you can to develop your exam technique and to develop your understanding of science. 3, condense, condense, condense. Don't write long notes. This is not a humanity. We don't need to know 1,020,000,020 different ways of phrasing the same thing. Science is factual. It's a fact-based subject. You need to know bang, 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 bang. 4, what was my 4th thing? Teach, teach, teach. Teach your cat. Teach your wigs. Teach your little skeleton. Teach anyone and everyone who is willing to be taught. And vice versa, be taught by other people. It will help you. And my 5th and my bonus tip is to communicate with your teachers. 9 out of 10 times for most of us, most of our science teachers will be, you know, trained in science and actual science teachers who will know the best tips and advice for you because your teachers know you as a person. They know you as a student. I can give you these 5 fabulous tips on what I do, but I don't know your learning style. I don't know your strengths. I don't know your weaknesses. I know that my science teachers know what areas I'm weaker in, and I know they can help me learn in the way that's best for me. So make sure that you do keep that field of communication open. And with that said, make sure you smile, subscribe over here or down below. Make sure you study hard, slay hard, work hard. I will see you wonderful people all again very, very soon. Bye!